Sportsbook exchange apps like ProphetX and NoVig are insane when it comes to plus EV value. I mean, seriously, these apps are littered with 3% to 10% plus EV plays all the time. I'll show you firsthand all the value you can find using these apps, but first, let's talk about what are sportsbook exchange apps. They are peer-to-peer sports betting apps, so unlike traditional sportsbooks where you're betting against the house, you are actually accepting and placing wagers against actual real people and users of these apps. You can literally set your own odds on whatever bet you would like. If you wanted to take Patrick Mahomes over 250.5 passing yards, but you only want to bet it if you can get plus 110, then you could set the odds for plus 110. And if somebody wants to take the under of 250.5 passing yards for Patrick Mahomes, they could take the opposite side of that at minus 110 for the under. Essentially, you can make sure that you are always getting the best odds when comparing to the sportsbook market, giving yourself a huge edge over the long term. I use this website called Daily Grind Fantasy that helps me compare sportsbooks lines and odds directly back to apps like PrizePicks, Underdog, and sportsbook exchange apps like ProphetX and NoVig that we're talking about here in this video to find the best possible value and odds I can bet these at. Now, before I walk you through how to find the best possible value on these apps, you probably need to download the apps first. So if you guys have not yet already downloaded ProphetX or NoVig, I'll leave some links down in the description, but if you use code DGF, you will get the deposit matches for those apps. One of the key things I do when looking for value on ProphetX and NoVig using Daily Grind Fantasy is actually use this filter right here, min-max odds filter, where I change my minimum odds to minus 150 and my max odds at plus 110. Only reason why I do this is because I want plays that consistently have at least like a 48% to 56% chance to hit, 59% chance to hit, where I am winning more often and getting the best odds in the market. Don't get me wrong, if you guys wanted to just get in any plus EV play, whether it's plus 160 and the market is at plus 120, do that. That is still plus EV. I just try to eliminate some negative variance as I do play a ton of parlays on other apps. So I just want some straight bets that are going to hit pretty often. So I'm not going to play the very top play, but not because I don't want to or it's not good value, because it really is, but it's because I've already played it. I've brought up the NoVig app down below my camera, as you guys can see. I have already played Nathan Eovaldi over 5.5 strikeouts at minus 109 odds, which is even better than what the current price is being offered on NoVig. So I've already locked in some really good value at minus 109 when the entire market has this close to minus 151 average odds. So a new bet actually popped up, and it's Ranger Suarez under 1.5 walks allowed. So we'll go ahead and look up Ranger Suarez here on NoVig and find his walks allowed line. We see that it is here. Under 1.5 is a minus 123 odds, and you can see DraftKings and a few other different sportsbooks have this average odds of almost minus 170 at average odds of minus 168. So getting this at minus 123 is the best odds available in the market in a great bet. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this in on NoVig and secure this value. If you don't understand why this is good value just based off the odds we are getting it at, let me explain. All 5 of these major sportsbooks here set their own odds and lines independently, and they all agree based off of their own judgment. This actually has average odds of about minus 170 to go under 1.5 walks. So heavily favored to go under 1.5 walks for Ranger Suarez. But NoVig and the user that have placed the odds on the opposite side of this bet are offering the under at minus 123. So essentially, that user believes that this has a much lesser chance to hit the under than what 5 major sportsbooks think it does. So I ask you this, are you going to trust that the one user that has set these odds on NoVig is right, or these 5 major sportsbooks that all agree this has a very good chance to go under? Now, just because the sportsbooks have it heavily favored under does not mean we are going to win every single time. That's not how it works. This is still sports betting, but you are setting yourself up to win over the long term if you consistently get odds like this when the market is way up here. This is literally like if you had the opportunity to buy Tesla, Bitcoin, or Apple stock at a cheaper price than what it's actually at. And we all know you would be stupid to not buy those stocks at a way cheaper price than what it's being offered at. So why not take this into your sports betting strategy and actually set yourself up to win money? I'm literally showing you the recipe on how to profit long-term sports betting, guys. I placed a $50 wager at minus 123 odds. I'm gonna profit $40. But if I would have took this wager where the market average was around minus 170, I would only profit $29. So because I went line shopping and found the best possible odds on NoVig and bet it there, I am getting an extra $11 in profit if this wins. Finding plays just like this and betting them at volume over the long term is the key to success for profiting sports betting. So not only do I get more money when it actually wins, I get the confidence from 5 sportsbooks all agreeing that this has a much better chance to hit than minus 123 odds that I got it at. So how about Breanna Stewart over 8.5 rebounds? We are getting plus 116 odds on NoVig, and the entire sportsbook market has this closer to about minus 110, minus 111. We are getting plus money on NoVig when no other book has this even plus odds. A no-brainer bet in a 5.5% EV play. All right, I went ahead and just locked that in, but now I want to show you guys how to actually make your own odds in your own bets here on NoVig. So let's say I like Angel Reese over 13.5 rebounds, but I only like it if I can get plus 115 or higher. I'm being a little picky on this one. It's already a good play at plus 112, but let's see if I can get a little bit better odds and a little bit better payout. So I'm on Angel Reese, 13.5 rebounds. You can see there's $45 in liquidity. So you could bet the over of 13.5 for plus 112 for a max of $45 right now. But if I went ahead and toggled the make button instead of take, I can go ahead and set my own odds for this. To get this to the top of the book, I could offer minus 118, which would be the best possible odds on the under of 13.5. So it would be likely that somebody is going to try and get the best odds on that side when they're going to place this bet for the under if they like it. So let's go ahead and do plus 118 for the over of 13.5 rebounds, and we want to go ahead and bet $50. So we'll go ahead and place order. Now it's going to create the opposite side, which is that under 13.5 rebounds at minus 118 odds, and we'll see if somebody accepts that side of the bet. Now, I will say it's not always guaranteed somebody is going to bet the other side of that. If that happens, they are just simply going to cancel your bet and you will be refunded your wager. But as you guys can see here, I was trying to get plus 101 odds on the over of 215.5 in the Timberwolves Thunder game, which is pretty outrageous because now this line has been bumped up to 217.5 as the even line essentially, and the best odds at over 215.5 is minus 139 right now. So I'm trying to get an absolute steal. It's likely that nobody will accept this bet, but it's worth trying. Why not? Or screw it. If I like the T-Wolves tonight and I think they're going to cover 7.5, let me go ahead and see if I can get even better odds than plus 100, which I know is already plus EV in a solid play here on NoVig. Let me go ahead and click make, and maybe I can get plus 103 because it's going to offer minus 103 to the other side, which is obviously OKC minus 7.5. So we'll see if somebody accepts it at plus 103, and I get a few extra dollars here. Went ahead and made this order. We'll see if it gets accepted. So now let's talk about ProphetX. And this app works basically the same exact way. I use the same filters in the min-max odds feature here as I do on NoVig. I just simply find these bets and get them in just like I was showing you. Now, one thing I do like to look out for when I'm finding plus EV bets on NoVig and ProphetX is I like to make sure I am getting some of these really good data points and really sharp sportsbooks. So one of the three, DraftKings, FanDuel, or Pinnacle, and if I can get 2 of the 3 or 3 of 3, then I love these bets. So for instance, Carlos Rodon over 1.5 earned runs here at minus 115 on ProphetX, when he has average odds of close to minus 150 across these major sportsbooks, and we have 2 of our 3 main data points that we love. I love this bet. So let's go ahead and lock it in. Here we're on the MLB page and we click into the Rangers-Yankees game. We're going to go all the way to the right where we find runs allowed. And we see that Carlos Rodon over runs allowed is at minus 170 now. So it actually just got bumped extremely high on this app. But let's just say we wanted to take the over at minus 115, which we know is really, really good value, right? So we can go ahead and change the odds here to minus 115 and try and snipe that same play that we know is plus EV here on ProphetX. So the same way we requested a bet there on NoVig, we just did on ProphetX with this play for Carlos Rodon. We'll see if it gets accepted. Another insane play just popped up on ProphetX. We are getting Lance McCullers under 4.5 hits allowed at plus 107 odds. No other book is offering plus money. In fact, they have average odds of minus 130, so favoring the under of 4.5 hits allowed for Lance McCullers. There's no reason that we should be allowed to bet this at plus 107 odds, But then again, that's why Daily Grind Fantasy is so clutch. It alerts us of all of these profitable betting opportunities across these different apps, so we're able to find profitable plays in an instant and get them in before they move. I almost got talking a little bit too much there and forgot to lock this in, so let's go ahead and lock in Lance McCullers under 4.5 hits allowed here on ProphetX, which I just did right now. Let's go. One thing I will say, and a warning I will give, is to dodge anything that has a ton of liquidity available. If you wanted to go bet Lance McCullers under 4.5 hits allowed, and he had $17,000 of liquidity available on that side of the bet, I probably just wouldn't play it. And there's no really rhyme or reason to my madness, but these are exchange apps that do not limit you whether you win or lose a bunch of money on them. So there could be people that have insider information and trying to get down a ton of money on bets that they know have a very, very, very good chance to hit outside of what the odds say. Now, I'm not saying that's the case with all of these bets, because if it was, I wouldn't be playing them, but there are random occurrences where that could be happening, and I've just found to dodge the higher liquidity has been better over the long term for myself. You could literally sit here all day on Daily Grind Fantasy and lock in plus EV plays across both of these apps. And if you guys do want to do that, I'll leave a link to Daily Grind Fantasy down in the description below. But if you use code DustinDGF44, you will get 25% off your very first month. So it's been a few minutes. Let's go ahead and see if anybody's actually matched our orders on these two apps for the bets we were requesting. As you can see here on ProphetX, nobody has took the other side of our Rodon bet. So let's go ahead and check NoVig. Of course, nobody has accepted my crazy ask of plus 101 odds on the over of 215.5 in this game. Nobody probably will, that's fine, but let's go ahead and check. Yes, somebody has matched our Timberwolves bet. So we are locked in for 50 bucks at plus 103 odds at plus 7.5 for the Timberwolves, and somebody took the other side for $50. So that means they got OKC at minus 103 odds to cover minus 7.5. Let's go. Now, whether that hits or any of these bets hit, I know that I have locked in and secured the best possible value in the market, which means over the long term, as long as I do this, I'll be profitable. Hopefully you guys have realized the insane edge that you can gain on these apps, ProphetX and NoVig, and you guys sign up for them. Remember, use code DGF when you sign up. The links are in the description, but that is going to be the end of this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and or learned something. If you did, make sure you leave a like, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the way out as we post sports betting content like this every single week.